Welcome back to Movie Magic 96, your one-stop shop for all things movies. From reviews to unboxings and collections, I'm here to celebrate the magic of cinema. Now, let's roll the film. In today's video, I'll be revisiting 28 Days Later. I recently did a watch-along on my friend Luke Ponto's channel, but I really wanted to give this film my full attention, especially since I hadn't seen it in years. So today, we're diving deep into one of the most influential horror films of the 2000s. Let's get into it. 28 Days Later was directed by Danny Boyle, who at the time was best known for Trainspotting. The film stars Cillian Murphy as Jim in what many consider his first major breakout role. Naomie Harris plays Selena, one of her earliest leading roles, and she absolutely commands the screen. We also get a great supporting performance from the veteran actor Brendan Gleeson as Frank, a taxi driver doing his best to protect his daughter, and Christopher Eccleston as Major Henry West. While I personally consider this a zombie film, the movie technically focuses on the rage virus, a highly contagious infection that turns humans violent within seconds. This was a huge shift from the slow-moving zombies of earlier films and helped to redefine the genre. You can clearly see the influence this movie had on later works like Dawn of the Dead 2004, The Walking Dead, and even The Last of Us. One creative choice that has always bothered me, though, is the decision to shoot the film on low-resolution digital cameras. I understand it was intentional and partly due to budget and mobility, but the grainy, almost blurry look can make the movie harder to watch for me at times. The film opens with chaos, news footage showing violent outbreaks and social collapse. Animal activists think they're doing the right thing, unknowingly cause the apocalypse by freeing infected chimpanzees. It's a chilling reminder of how quickly good intentions can turn disastrous. Jim waking up alone in a hospital, completely unaware of what's happened, is one of the greatest setups in horror. The audience learns about this world at the same pace he does, which makes everything feel more unsettling. This concept would be later echoed with Sheriff Rick Grimes waking up in The Walking Dead. Seeing Jim wander through an entirely empty London is still eerie to this day. Honestly, it might be even scarier now after living through the pandemic when we saw images of places like Times Square completely deserted. Boyle uses Dutch angles frequently here to enhance the unease, and while I think they're sometimes overused, they definitely contribute to the film's anxious tone. The music choice during this sequence is perfect. The track East Hastings by Godspeed You! Black Emperor wasn't written specifically for the movie, but it fits the atmosphere flawlessly. The slow build, growing louder and more intense, ramps up tension without a single line of dialogue. The church scene is still terrifying. When Jim calls out and an infected man suddenly appears with his mouth wide open, it genuinely gives me chills every time. The priest we see shortly after is our first real look at how the infection affects the human body, and it's incredibly effective. Jim running through the streets clutching a plastic shopping bag is another iconic image. Selena soon enters the story and explains how the virus spreads through blood and bodily fluids and how quickly it turns people. The scene where Jim finds his parents dead after they've taken their own lives is absolutely gut-wrenching. It's a brutal but honest look at the despair some people would face in a situation like this. I do have a logic question though. For example, when Jim sets off a car alarm, no infected show up. But later, a small candle flame attracts two of them. It's minor, but it stands out for me. Selena killing Mark immediately after he's bitten is one of the most defining moments of her character. It's quick, brutal, and unemotional, and that's why she's one of my favorite characters in any zombie movie. She's smart, resourceful, and completely uncompromising when it comes to survival. Brendan Gleeson's Frank is such a great contrast to Selena. Despite the hopeless world, he remains optimistic for the sake of his daughter Hannah. He welcomes Jim and Selena into their apartment without hesitation, which gives the film some much-needed warmth. The writing really shines in moments of pure tension, like having to change a tire while infected and rats swarm toward you. It's simple, grounded, that gets your heart racing. The supermarket scene offers a brief moment of comfort and normalcy, something that would later become a staple in zombie films. But the film never lets you forget how fragile that comfort is. Jim being forced to kill an infected child with a baseball bat is another tough moment. When Selena asks if he found anything afterward and he says no, it says so much about how this world is changing him. Frank's infection is especially tragic. One drop of infected blood falling into his eye after he kicks a gate. It's such a freak accident, but it feels horrifically realistic. His final moments telling Hannah to stay away are heartbreaking. When Jim, Selena, and Hannah reach the military base, it feels like safety, until the truth is revealed. The soldiers aren't trying to save humanity, they're luring women in for sexual slavery. It's disturbing, but sadly believable. This is where the film makes its most powerful statement. The infected aren't the only monsters. In extreme situations, ordinary people can become far worse. Jim's transformation during the final act is incredible. Watching him take down the soldiers, along with infected soldiers turning on their own, is easily the most satisfying sequence in the movie. There really isn't a bad moment in 28 Days Later. The pacing is tight, the performances are strong, and the themes still resonate more than 20 years later. Even at just under 2 hours, the film never drags. Despite my issues with the digital look and some chaotic action shots, this is still one of the most influential horror films ever made. My final rating is a 4.5 out of 5. What do you think of 28 Days Later, and where does it rank for you among other zombie or infection films? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at MovieMagic1996. Thanks so much for everything, and go watch 28 Days Later today.